Woo! I am here. Segmet, the Feel Better Coach, is here. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, it's a lovely day. Good morning. Good morning to you. And it's a happy day. It's a happy day. Boom, boom. It's a happy day. It's a happy day. Boom, boom. It's a happy day. It's a happy day. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Oh boy, do I have stories to tell. Oh my goodness. Oh, good morning, Anna. Good morning, Linda. Isn't it worth it, boy? I'll tell you, when you go through it and it comes out on the other end, the light, you know how the wise ones talk about this light at the end of the tunnel. Boy, I was in that tunnel. I'll tell you, when it came to the computer and the programs and all the stuff, I'm so glad I'm here with you, sweet beautifuls. It's a beautiful day. It's a good morning. It's a good afternoon. It's a good evening. Oh my goodness, it's a good night. Ooh. All right, let's see. Good morning, Allison. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Catherine. Oh my goodness. We have some kind of semblance of getting back together. How about that? Good morning, Elise. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, all right. So listen. Okay, so you know what? So you know over the weekend it was summer solstice, right? And so that's a big deal when it's a new moon that lines up with the summer solstice. Apparently this happens once every 19 years. All right, exactly though. Exactly. Boom. Not about, but exactly. It's one of those unique celestial things. All right, so that was this week. Oh, good morning, Pablo. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Gemma. It's a good morning, isn't it? Boom, boom. And so, listen. So then we had Mercury went into retrograde, and then there were 5 other planets that were retrograde. It's only as of yesterday that one of them kind of creeped out. And so it was 6 planets in retrograde together with the influence of a supreme summer solstice with, well, what was it? I think you guys in Australia got to see it, didn't you? I think. But it was the Ring of Fire one, where you see, you know, because there was also an eclipse there. So it was an eclipse, summer solstice, and then all the planets went in retrograde. So, isn't that a lot? Isn't that a lot? So, let me tell you what that means usually, when you have that many planets in retrograde at the same time, with a big event like an eclipse, and then the solstice, and the new moon, and all this stuff going on. What happens is, this is according to what I understand from my astrologer friend, the influences are louder, more present, more kind of in your face, in your life, more in affect with the A on you. And so it's like, oh, Elisa will understand this. Every now and then, as a school teacher, something will happen, and they say, oh, we need to move the class over with you. So all of a sudden, instead of 35 kids, you got almost 70 kids, and you didn't know that day was going to happen that way. And so you're like, oh my God, look at all these little children. What am I going to do? And they're like, oh yeah, don't worry. We're sending the assistant in. Don't worry. We have somebody to help you. But that help is really not showing up. And so you got to deal with these 70 children. Or, you know, same thing in the family where, you know, you new life, you know, the kids are grown and they're married. They got their own kids. But all of a sudden, on one day, they all decide to bring the grandkids, and you didn't know you were getting up for that. And so you got to go back into toddler mode and stuff. And you didn't forget all about all this stuff. And so now you got a house full of toddlers and you're not really there. And you're like, okay, wait a minute. Let me click in. What did I used to do when my babies were toddlers? And so it was all of that. But 7 hours of working on this computer with people who were supposed to be experts. However, it was a mystery. Nobody could understand why these programs weren't working, why I didn't have the connections, why nobody could. And so they were bringing in the supervisor and then the supervisor of the supervisor. And boy, I tell you, it was a hot mess. But you know what? I was actually willing to stay on that line because I knew if I said, well, I'll come back later, I knew it was going to be even more problems because then it would be new people who didn't even know what was going on. You know how that goes when you've been on hold for a while. And so I stayed in it, and 7 hours later, ta-da! Everything works. Okay, my dears. Isn't that amazing? Yes. Today is a day of spiritual expansion, and that's what it is. It's a good morning. It's a good day. Hey, good morning, Michelle. Hi. Yeah, because Elisa, you are a teacher. You are a teacher. You understand how these last minute things go. Oh my God, Perseverance is the middle name of Segmet right now. So the thing is that I was still in a place of having joy. You see, this is the whole thing. Remember, it's a good morning. It's a good day. As the sun rises, so shall we. As those rays expand upon the earth, so shall we. You see, it's our choice though. And so I chose to have joy through it all still. And even though I saw the frustrations going on, and even there were points when I was like, forget this, I could just get off this phone and I could just go on with the day, because the rest of the stuff on my computer was working. It wasn't like my computer wasn't working. It was the connection to the world that was being like, shoot, like that. So you see, that's what happened. So joy was my choice as well, in addition to the perseverance. So in addition to the outcome that I had from my desire, I also had, I'm gonna stay centered in my peace. And I actually have a little fun with these people on the line, a little bit. And there were some jokes here and there. And then there were places where they were getting frustrated with it and it vented on me. And so I decided to just let that be, what they were about, because that's what it is. When somebody does their whole little push at you, that's really about them. It's really not even about you. The wall could be there or another person, And so this is real life in America and all on the planet Earth. You have to choose what you want to feel at all times. You are not subject to somebody else's gook, okay? So working out the kinks, we got it all worked out. So this is a beautiful day. This is your day to have your way. And you put your little seasonings and all that you like. It's a good morning. It's a good afternoon. It's a good evening. It's a good night. And you can have it your way because why? Because you choose to have it that way. That's it. And then you allow all energies to support you. And that's it. And you get what you want. That's it. I feel like y'all are like sitting in my house right now. It's very real this morning. Very real. Like the energy is like very real. Like I feel like you guys are sitting right here. Y'all know I sit in the steps. This is actually part of the banister. I sit in the steps, the lower part. And so I have all this behind me, but it feels like you guys are right here around the light. I love it. Okay, sweethearts, listen, this is today, the rees, okay? I'm going to knock them down too, because retrogrades, especially Mercury retrogrades, are about retro, like retro. To go back in, what we say, is time. But to go within is what I say. So retro, most people say, oh, go back in time. But I say go within, okay? Because, believe it or not, we have the ability to affect all time-space continuum from the present moment. Not from some incantation or some kind of affirmation. No, not like that. From the present now moment, we affect the now. And by doing that, we affect what has come before and what is yet to come in creation mode. Okay? I'll go into stuff like that more and more and more. Plus, we got Feeling Better Go Time tonight. So you guys have your questions ready so we can jam. Because I always spend the first 5 to 10 minutes asking. So you guys come with it tonight, okay? All right, so the rees. All right, so listen. All right, let me see, where will we start? Because first of all, okay, let's do it like this. Just the RE part. And I don't mean RE like when you write a memo or a letter and you go regarding. I don't mean that part. I mean like the re's of redo, rethink, restructure. You see? Recluse. You see that? Re. This is how I mean. So the RE part, you got many things here. You got, it can be again, once more, afresh, anew, as in the word reaccustom, right? And then you got, let's see, you got where the re part means like action to a previous state, like revert or return, right? And then you got withdrawn, like recluse. Now, the thing is, I took this a little further and I separated off re from the word because, you know, nowadays we have popular understandings and then we have, what does it really mean kind of stuff. Okay, so I hope y'all appreciate that I did this. Now listen to this. All right, some interesting things that I found. Okay, some that we would kind of figure out as we sit with it, like response. So I said, well, what is sponse? Let's see what sponse is without the re. And so I did that work to see what it was. And sponse is basically to sponsor, to support. So to response, you see, we think that a response is like to react to something. But sponse is a little more than act, like act short for action. It's actually an action in support of or in sponsorship of. So it's a specific type of action. You see that? So that's what I found. I said, oh, okay, well, if response would be to again bring forth an action in support or sponsorship. In support or sponsorship. To do it again, you put the re in front of it and it says, okay, again, to redo it or to re-put it in place or re-put it in action. You see? All right. Now I went to one. I said, well, what about repel? Repel. Because remember when all the corona stuff started and people had these pictures on the web, how they were using like pepper floating around in water, and then when they put the soap in and how it would repel like the pepper away, and they were using this as an example and an exhibition of what soap would do with germs. You see? Okay, so I said, okay, let's see what repel is. So pel, without the re, pel is an artifact that is one. Listen to this. Isn't this interesting? That an artifact that is one of individual parts to which a whole, like a whole entity of individual parts, whole, is made up of. Okay, so that's just like all those flakes of pepper in that water, and then when you repel. So it repelled all those parts that were of ones of the individual collective. Now, see, it starts to get a little interesting. You see that? It starts to even get like a space term or something. You see that? So, repel is not just push away. It's push away in the sense of a collective of individual parts, a collective entity of individual parts. So that which forms something. So we just think repel is just to push something away. But it has what you're pushing away is the collective of individual parts. So to repel is not just push away. It is like to, you know how you have mass consciousness accepted idea, because all of these individuals on the planet accept a certain thing to be true. A repel action is to push that understanding of what those individuals collectively actually consciously accept to be true. So there's more to it than just push away. You see that? This is food for thought this morning segment. It's a good morning. Look at that. And now, okay, resist. Okay, that's a popular one of the day. Resist, right? So I separated the re from the sist. Guess what? So sist, S-I-S-T. And remember now, what I say, it's not a mystery. I do not make things all like, ooh, only I know. I'm special. You don't get to know. All of these things you can research for yourself when you hear me saying them. You can find it for you, because that's all I stand for, is to facilitate your greater expansion. That's it. Not this whole thing of, well, I'm so special, you can't do it. Are you kidding me? You are special. You are wonderful. Why? Just because you exist. And y'all know I stand for that. So cyst, you can look this up. You know what a cyst is? Not C-I-S-T, but S-I-S-T, as in resist, right? Separate that cyst off. You know what it is? It's a stay or a suspension of a legal order or process. You know how somebody's going to be executed and the call can come in from the governor that says, don't execute him. We got other information here. It's a stay on the order. So even though the judge said the order is that which involves an execution, such and such a day, there's an order in place. And the governor comes in with the stay and says, go against that order. All right? So resist is to again stay against the order or stay against the legal process. Now, this is in law. Now, remember, the fact that we all breathe is about a celestial divine order. There's something that set this thing into process for us. The fact that we all have a heartbeat, that's some kind of celestial divine order law that comes from upon all of us are in these bodies, and there are heartbeats, and there's inhale and exhale. Now it goes further than that, of course. There's this whole celestial order, divine order of exchange of gases, blood flow, you know, how the skin sometimes can be sunburned or not according to certain heat and all this stuff. And then when it comes to that, we have affect and influence over our own vessels that we inhabit called the body. So when you talk about resist, you are talking about a stay and a suspension against or of a law of order. Now, that when we think of law of order, we think about courts. But remember, there's an order that is according to a divine law. What about sunrise, sunset? What about nighttime and the way the earth spins and evolves and rotates on its axis? What about the way the sun rotates on its axis? All of those are divine laws. So when you have a situation where you say resist, and this is the higher value of it, you are saying there is a suspension of the order that is already set, that either you've accepted as law or mass consciousness accepts as law. You see that? So resist is more than just, I don't want to, I'm going to stand against it. It's a stay. And it has to do with a form of order that is set by one of these levels of law. Whether it's a law of the courtroom, which we all are familiar with when it comes to stuff like that. Or a law, you know, the law of the streets, like red light, green light. You know, walk when the pathway is clear. Don't walk when all the traffic is coming. You see, these are just general laws. And so a stay. Now, sometimes with the actual senses that come with expansion, it stays the laws of order that everyone else understands to be in place. So sometimes with the action and the activation of your higher senses, it stays the lower frequency laws. You see, like appearing to be invisible. You see that? So appearing to be invisible. So that's a sense that we all have if we can activate it. But then the people who are still active at the lower frequencies, they may not see you. But the ones who are active at the higher frequencies do. Now this is real, what I'm talking about. I live it all the time, where there are certain things that are invisible to me, and then I am invisible to certain things and certain people. And it's about the frequency differences. You see, wise parts. Okay? So this I have to go into it another time, because we're gonna run out of time. But I just want to help you understand, when you get into this read stuff, when you look at what the read comes before, it gets a little heavy there. And so look, guess what? I found another one. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Okay, you know how you have the word recluse? And in the movies and how we read about a recluse is somebody who kind of just stays away, like the person who's kind of maybe lives out in the woods, or somebody who mostly stays home, or not too social at all. Guess what I found out a cluse is? A cluse. C-L-U-S-E. The cluse of recluse. You know what it is? It is a narrow gorge between that cuts across to a continuous ridge. So it's a narrow gorge, and we associate a gorge with like water, like one of those kind of like, the Colorado River, how it cuts through the big Grand Canyon. Initially, that was just a gorge, all right, that cut across a continuous ridge. So a recluse would be the narrow gorge happening again. Now, how did that get to be associated with somebody who kind of like shut themselves in or put themselves away from most of society? Because that's what it's associated is as now. When we talk about a recluse, this person is somebody who's not social, mountain men, people who just stay home. The extreme of that is called the agoraphobic. Remember? Where they just don't come out at all, and just on the regular terms, they're like, no, they're a recluse. They stay away. They kind of stay shut in. So how did recluse, of the cluse, being a narrow gorge, basically usually with water, cutting across a continuous ridge, become associated with a person who shuts themselves in? I'm still working with that. I'm not really sure about that. We'll work on that. I'm not really sure about that one. How did it evolve to be such a thing? The path less traveled? I don't know. So I'm not sure on that one. So you see how it can get you? But it's worth looking at just for your own vibration. Like, oh, I didn't realize that part. It lets you expand on areas. It's a good morning that previously you hadn't given attention to. So I just pay attention now. So if we've started the good morning presence like this, I really pay attention to the words that I use. Did y'all notice that on yesterday, it's a good morning. It was not yesterday. On Tuesday, I said prosperous after 7 hours. The prosperity of Segmet after 7 hours. You notice I stayed away from that S word. Did y'all notice that? Y'all are not going to hear me using that word anymore. Because that word, it means something way other than what I want when I express my energy, you see? And I know what Segmet does. I really have influence with energy out here. And this is why I choose to really pay attention to the frequency and the love that I generate. And so if I become aware that this is low frequency something, or low generating, as in that which is connected to fear, or, these things that are termed negative, I will not use it like that. Now, I'm working on other things too, but we'll get into that at another at the top. All right, my dears, I love you so much. I appreciate you for choosing you on this day. Let's get our water and let's get ready to lock it in on our divine current breathing. How about that? All right. And before I do, let's see. Oh, look at that. Linda said the video was acting up. Uh-oh, see? See that? This is... Let's see. See, Facebook is having problems. Who knows? Who knows? But you know what? As long as I see it clear on this end, the recording should come out okay for when it's time to upload. You know how it uploads and then you guys can look at it again a second time? We should be okay. So let's see. Oh, good morning, Nadisha. I didn't say good morning earlier. Oh, look at you guys it's all not coming in well on the live stream. Look at that. All right, you guys, it's a good thing. It's on YouTube too. So you guys could remember Segmet says. Make sure you don't autocorrect for Segment. It's Segmet says. That's the YouTube channel. Okay? Just in case this stays a little wonky while we go through all of these energies on the earth. Okay? But we'll see. Because I'm going to see. It should play clear once it's uploaded into Facebook for the after. Okay, there you go. Video is freezing. See, I think this is the line. It's not, because on my end it shows clear. So I think the lines are being affected. All right. Rubbing your back. Oh, yay. Ah, thank you, sweetheart Catherine, for rubbing my back. All right. Ooh, all right. Okay. I'm just making sure. Okay, Catherine, for light language, come in tonight and ask me about that. I have a friend who can speak it. I don't speak it, but I have a friend who can. All right, let's see. Oh, no. Michelle, her laptop is going on and off. All right, well, we're going to say it's going to fix itself. Ooh, look at it, Lisa, with the shower. All right, I'm just checking. All right, Bodie. All right. Okay. Glitches be gone. Gotcha. All right. Okay. You know what? At least we are here together and we are doing this. How about that? It's our choice. And it's going to be all right. That's what I say. Remember. All right. All right. Okay, there. Thank you, Elisa. She put the link up there so you guys can see it. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to make sure there were no questions on what I'm actually saying right here. And it was a lot of comments because of this freezing and stuff. All right, my dears. All right, here we go. Everybody, nice and comfortable. If you have your energetic app, there you go. And guess what? There's a whole bunch coming, but I'm working with glitches on all this stuff, okay? All right, so here we go. Nice and comfortable. I am here. I exist. Here we go. And here we are. All right, sweet beautifuls. We are here, and all that we are, this collective love ball that we form all over this beautiful planet Earth, this matters more than a video reception. Agreed. All right, my dears. So I appreciate you for choosing you. Remember, as you're going through your day, you are fantastic. Season it up and make sure you have pieces that are just your way. It's a good morning. Choose you. Choose you. Allow all energies to support you. Remember, it's all about within, and then the ripples go out from that like beautiful sun rays. And remember, you are a beautiful sun and a beautiful light within this body that we call the vessel, the jacket, all of that. You know how people call it all these different names. So, I appreciate you. I lift you up. I appreciate you. Be all that you are. Allow all energies to serve your conscious choices. Okay? Because it's that automatic routine stuff that'll get you tripped up. You know, you're like, oh, I wasn't present. Shoot. All right. So your conscious choosing. Allow all energies to support you. Do as you choose to do for you, and therefore be in a greater light for all who are connected with you and in the field that we have here on this great earth. Okay? And beyond. You know it's and beyond, don't you? All right. I appreciate you. And now it's time for I love yous. As you hear my voice to you, know that all that I am comes forth for you in love and light. And as I feel all of your presence, I do feel you. I feel all that you are here in love and light. And when we send I love you to all that we are beyond, all that we are, from I am that I am, pure consciousness through to all of our spirit, our soul, all the way densified into this physical dwelling zone that we are in right here and now. We are never alone. We are never, ever, ever alone. Okay, my dears, here we go. 3 times. I love you. I love you. I love you, sweet beautifuls. I will see you tonight on Feeling Better Go Time, 6:30 Pacific Time. And of course, I'll post up. We're going to be live. Let's see how Instagram's feed is doing. But we're going to do what we do in love and light and all that's fun and joyous and bright. I'll see you next time.